You brought it with you.
Well, this isn't the original. This is a print. I don't really ferry the original around.
Yeah, that was a lot of hours went into it.
3 years of my life on one piece of paper. I don't shepherd around the city. Yeah,
so it started out as a bit of a pandemic boredom project. Is that a nice way of describing it?
More or less, yeah. It's something I imagined since I was a child, but it was certainly the sort of lockdown context that gave me the time I needed, because I wanted to escape the surrounds of my of my apartment.
Yeah, as we all did, yeah.
Yeah, and so the world map gave me a way of kind of travelling without travelling and learning about all these incredible animals around the world. Not that I expected it to take 3 years. So. But here it is. And
you are a cartographer, which is quite a rare skill in some ways, mapping the world and borders, but it deviates a little bit from the normal work that you do, right?
Yeah, well, there are a lot of cartographers out there, actually, including a lot in the media business, because if you think about news, where is a very important part of telling a news story, and so we often need cartographers to explain where the front of a war is, for example. But yes, I usually go with artist cartographer. My maps are covered in illustrations and they're all done by hand, so that is incredibly rare these days indeed.
So how did you come at deciding what animals and where when it came to putting together your map?
Well, I basically settled on 3 fundamental criteria. So firstly, they're wild animals, so there's no French bulldogs or anything like that. They're native animals, so they're not introduced by humans, and they are extant, so not extinct. And that last part's really important because this map, Wild World, it's about a world that still exists. It's a contemporary world map of nature. And that was very important because I wanted to show people that this world is still very wild. There's still so much to cherish and protect, and it's a hopeful kind of celebration of the nature around us.
And how did you whittle down the Australian animals? Because we have so many iconic animals. How did you decide which ones were going to make
Honestly, Australia was one of the hardest parts of the map. That and the Amazon rainforest, because we do. And there's a few animals I wish had made it on, but I think I did pretty well. There's a lot of iconic creatures there. So.
A 3-year passion project. Were there times, Anton, when you thought, oh, this is getting too much, am I going to finish this? Were there times of frustration?
Yes. I mean, I thought it would take 6 months. It took 3 years. So certainly there were moments where I thought, my goodness, is this all worth it? But I just loved it so much. So it was very hard to pull me away from the project. It was just like, imagine you're making a giant jigsaw puzzle all by yourself, but you're making each piece by hand and you're watching it unfold and learning about the world. So it was a labour of love, and therefore I was able to see through those 3 years.
You must have incredible patience.
Yeah, well, so much so that you... I believe you use sandpaper to whittle down the pencil to get it to the right
Yeah, that's
point.
right, actually. Yeah, so it's super, super sharp. Little points. Yeah, a lot of patience, no doubt. But again, when you love what you're doing, it's very easy to persist.